after hearing you guys talk about guys calling spots audibly, I was wondering how often guys wouldn't even be able to understand each other in the ring, for instance, with wrestlers who weren't great at English or who had thick accents.
Well, actually, a lot of people have told me that worked with him that they understood Bobby Eaton in the ring better than they did in the car or in the locker room. There's a communication problem if you're working with somebody that from another country that has just gotten to the United States, doesn't really speak any English and or at least they're used to be, and doesn't have any experience with working with Americans. But at the same point now, who would that be anymore? There used to be a lot more guys in the business. Well, there didn't used to be a lot more guys in the business. There used to be a lot more full-time wrestlers in the business and a lot more territories where sometimes guys would wrestle their entire careers and never leave here and go overseas or vice versa. Now guys go over all the time. It's just for no money. But there also has been somewhat of a universal wrestling language where even, I remember when I first got into business, Japanese wrestlers would come in and they wouldn't know much English, but they know the names of the moves. Sunset flip, whatever. So there's ways to communicate. And once again, people judge communicating amongst wrestlers like it is today, where guys actually sit down and go over not only spots they might do or stuff that might come up, but actually plan matches out and do them like they plan them, which is, that requires a lot more communication. But in the old days, that wasn't necessary because that wasn't done. Like you just said, we weren't in the Superdome. We were not in the same locker room with our opponents. We saw them in the ring. And the referee or the booker, obviously the booker, usually since it was a big show, told both teams or both individuals what the finish was going to be. And if you worked together a lot when you got in the ring, you just say, hey, let's do the sunset flip spot. Here we go. And you did it naturally. And if you'd never met each other, you were a pro and the heel was going to call the match. And if you were the babyface, you were going to fucking listen. Some of the best matches I've ever seen have involved people when they first came in the territory and hadn't, spoken to each other or possibly ever met before.